everyone, my name is Audrey and welcome to my channel. Today I'm giving you my October wrap.
Tears fall at last. I see my past like it's still around. But am I happy now? Am I happy now?
So, a different angle setting than usual. I am now filming on my phone because of my camera that broke, unfortunately, and right now I don't want to set up everything on my tripod and all that stuff. So, we're just gonna deal with this sitting for now. So there's that. October didn't go as well as I expected. I was dealing with a lot during October in my personal life. I've been sick for the last 3 weeks. My son has been sick, and anyways, there was just a lot to deal with from my online class, from us being sick. When you take a break and things just like pile up, and when you want to get back into it, it's kind of hard because you need to catch up. So that's what I've been doing lately. Anyways, so I still managed to read in October 3 books, which is good, I guess, considering everything that's been happening. But it's definitely not enough for me to catch up on my Goodreads challenge. I set myself a goal to read 1 book a week for the year, just as I did last year. I didn't manage to achieve that goal last year. I read, I think, 44 books, and right now I'm around 32 books read for this year. So it's like even worse than last year. I have so many books I want to read. I don't want to pressure myself with reading so many books. Um, I mean, I read when I can, whatever I want when I can, but there's just so much I want to read that yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with that. But nonetheless, I'm gonna talk to you about the 3 books I read last month. So yeah, so the first book I finished was The Keeper of Night by Kylie Lee Baker, which was the first book of the duology, and it follows Ren, who is a Reaper in London, and she's like half Reaper, half Shinigami, and some things happen that make her have to leave for her to survive, and she tries to find out more about her identity and her place in the world, mostly. I haven't read much about Reapers and Shinigamis um, in books except for Death Note. So I was really intrigued. I like the concept of it and having to follow characters that like typically don't die. That was very interesting. I loved the characters. I really enjoyed the journey she went on, and I thought it was a really, really fun read. I gave it a 5 stars because I just loved it that much. I found it hard to put it down, so I was not bored. The writing was fun. The pacing was very interesting as well, and it did leave off with, I wouldn't say like a big cliffhanger, but there was a lot of twists towards the end, and some of them I did not see coming. Some of them I did, but they were still enjoyable, even if I guessed them, if that makes sense. So 5 stars. Love this book. And then I also read the second book, which is The Empress of Time, which concludes the duology because this was an arc I got from NetGalley that I finished reading after the publishing date, but like we're not gonna talk about it. And I really loved the second book. I've heard mixed things about the second one. I've heard a lot of people didn't like it, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I was not disappointed at all. So the second book actually takes off 10 years after the events of the first book. I know that that's a thing that a lot of people didn't like about the second book, but I really did enjoy it. I had a couple of issues, which was about if you don't want to be spoiled for the first book, just skip ahead. And or the second book, I don't know. You choose if you want to hear it or not, but it is a bit spoilery. So what I had an issue with is that now that she's a goddess, I thought she would be like this all powerful, mighty goddess that would be able to solve her own problems and have so much more powers. But it didn't turn out that way. She did have more powers, but she wasn't all that mighty, and she was still very, very flawed and still didn't know like how to solve her problems. But that's pretty much the only negative thing I have to say about this book. The rest of it, I loved it. I love the characters, and there's like new characters that are introduced that I loved, and some answers that we get for some things, and I really enjoyed that. I did enjoy the ending. It wasn't quite exactly what I was expecting or what I was hoping it was going to be, but I'm not disappointed with it nonetheless. But yeah, I do think it's worth the read, and I give it 4.5 stars out of 5. And the last book I read for October was a book by Colleen Hoover, my first Colleen Hoover book. I'm not going to talk much about here. I'm sorry, because it's part of my secret TBR video. I did not enjoy this. I have lots of thoughts. I did film those thoughts, and that's when I found out my camera wasn't working, so I'll have to refilm that all over again. But that's not the point. Yeah, I had a lot of issues with this book. The rep wasn't like that bad. It's more like I don't like how they dealt with it. I think that's more accurate to what bothered me in this book. Not the rep itself, but how they dealt with those issues. If that kind of makes sense, I don't want to give it away. Anyways, you'll have my full thoughts on that book in my secret to be on video. So stay tuned for that. It is coming pretty soon. I still have 2 more books left to read for that TBR, but I'm going to make it my goal to finish it and upload that video before the end of the year. So stay tuned for that. I know a lot of people are waiting on it because I've been talking about it for such a long time, but like, no worries, before the end of the year it's gonna be up. So that was it for my October wrap up. That's all I've read. I'm hoping that November is going to be better and it's going to go better. I'm going to, it's kind of hard to get back into it and try to catch up on everything, but I'm very motivated and I do want to read these books so bad. So yeah, I'm quite excited for this end of the year. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books. If What are your thoughts on them? What did you read for in October? Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, and I will see you in the next one.